A brand new show that just dropped. While the presenters play dominoes, a special guest will be discussing all topics that matter to you. Everything from judicial, legal, health, wealth. Nothing is off topic. The name, you ask me? Domino Effect. Domino Effect. Come listen. It's time well spent.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whatever time of the day you're watching the show, this is the Domino Effect, and I'm the Padre. This dude right here is Eve. Over here is Sweet Will. I have a very special guest with us today. I mean, I can't say my little brother because I haven't seen him in a long time. I mean, we haven't hung out as far as playing dominoes in a long time. But it's a good pleasure to have my boy. What's that dude's name again?
Damn. That's the funny thing. Every time it's time to introduce him, you forgot the first name, but the last name is in the head. It's Claudel.
Oh, it's Claudel.
Claudel.
Forget about
Frederique.
it. Forget about
Oh, is that Frederique? Oh,
Frederique.
What's his name anyways?
Okay.
Frederique in English. Frederique en Creole.
So, all right, people. So, you may not know, but all of us here, we grew up in Waltham. And Claudel, yes, he used to think like all of us was like
The
his
coolest.
God or the coolest people in here.
Yeah.
Especially Sweet Will. He thought Sweet Will was like, what, the biggest basketball player
Ever.
Not. So, but something happened. Okay, guys?
Life.
And I know you guys gonna be very proud.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician, and I don't dream on being a politician. But when one of your brother or one of the people that you know is into politics, so I say, but he's gonna tell you that's not the same. You have to represent.
Of course. When you go into that town and you mess up and they stop you, listen, you're going to stop me? What you need to do is call Claude. I don't need to talk to you.
That's for Haiti, not in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So okay, guys. So basically, I just
got
want to
your
let
bail
you guys,
money, though.
I just want to let you guys know. Claudel
bail.
is the new elected city council in Amesbury, Massachusetts. You ask me where Amesbury, Mass is? He's gonna have to tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up, Claudel?
Oh man, I'm good. So I just got elected November 7th. I get inaugurated January 2nd. City Council at large for Amesbury, Mass. Amesbury is north of Haverhill. So if you're familiar with Hampton or Salisbury area, basically like right around that area. So pretty much neighboring town with Seabrook, New Hampshire, and Newburyport. And yeah, so I will be.
I'm gonna
at large.
I'm gonna ask Claudel one of the craziest questions. I'm sure he's gonna. I know you probably. There's 5 black people in that town, and you're one of them.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually probably a fact. Yeah, that is probably a fact.
So you're talking about Amesbury, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Is that a city or a town?
It is a city. It's a small city, population 17,500. So it's definitely like a small city for sure. So we do have a mayor.
How many you got?
We have. I don't know how many female mayors there are in Massachusetts, but we have a female mayor.
That's true.
She's doing her thing right now.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we have like a full body, a council.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest. The important question for me is how do you become a city council? Because I'll be honest, like,
What's some of the processes?
It's not even that. It's just next year, our baby brother over here wants to run. You know, even if he doesn't want, he doesn't want to run. He doesn't have a choice.
He's considering.
He's gonna need to run for city council
You mean
in
run
Waltham.
run or just run for
Whatever,
office?
run or whatever. He's gonna need to because he lives in Waltham
That's it.
for years. Our family was basically born and raised, especially with the Haitian community in Waltham. We're gonna need someone in, in there. So what is the process to get in there?
So I'm assuming every city probably has a different process, but I could tell you my experience and what the process was for me. So for me, basically, what the process was, you go to the city clerk's office, you pull what they call papers, nomination papers. So when you pull nomination papers, it's basically you're getting signatures from people that are registered to vote, stating that they are in support of you running, right? So say if you're running for at large, meaning the entire city, or if you're running for a ward or a district, there's different amount of signatures that you have to get. So for my situation, I was running at large, so I had to get a total of 50 signatures to then turn in by a certain deadline to the city clerk's office. So then I can officially be running for council.
Did you go door to door, or you kind of set up kind of like a lemonade stand and then have everybody come to you?
Lemonade
Like, you know, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, for people to come to you, for people to come to you and whatnot, or you went like, kind of like Xfinity, door to door.
You went already?
Yep.
So
That's the example I can use right now. So you know,
for me, my situation,
Just say.
my situation was this. So for me, I started off with my neighbors and then anybody else that I knew in the city, basically getting signatures, and I definitely had a lot of support of people that were helping me get signatures as well.
Okay.
So I was able to get the signatures pretty quickly. So it worked out pretty well for me.
okay.
But I did not set up a lemonade stand.
I can't believe this dude said that.
Go ahead, bro.
The other question that I have.
Oh,
He
here
always
he
have
goes.
this other question I pass.
Yeah.
We know what your base, when I'm talking about the base, is that the Haitian or the culture?
So you're saying what's the base of the people down there?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
This
so-
dude says
so yeah.
He's
So-
one of 5 black people there.
So the demographic is majority Caucasian in Amesbury, and there's a very, very small population of black folks in Amesbury. But I have to say this: the same reason why I ran was also the same reason why I actually let me revert that. The same reason I wasn't sure about the city was also the same reason I fell in love with the city. So when I first moved to Amesbury, it was during like COVID. So, you know, everybody's inside already, right? Everybody's minding their business. But obviously just driving through around town, you realize like, you know, we realize like, okay, everybody's majority like Caucasians. And I'm like, you know what I mean? So I just automatically assumed that I'm like, oh man, they're not gonna take me in, or I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be embraced or whatever. And I basically held myself back from getting involved in the community.
Okay.
So after COVID kind of ended that situation, I stepped into the Chamber of Commerce in Amesbury, and then at that point, once I got involved in the Chamber of Commerce, I was like, damn, like they're just pouring into me. Like, they just showing mad love, like, literally. Like, they just, oh, hey, you should meet this person. You should meet this person. Oh, you could do this. You could do this. Like,
That's what's up.
Yet the energy was just crazy.
It was just
And then-
it was surprising. Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I realized, like, I was holding myself back. You know what I mean? Because of my own thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was holding
everybody
myself
else
back.
was supportive. And
Yeah,
then you were just,
and in my mind, I didn't expect
Yeah.
it to be like that. And at that's the point where I was like, damn, like I'm really feeling this.
All
You know
right.
what I mean? And then at that point, like I already started to get to know my neighbors and all that.
Oh, you
And
passed?
it was just, you know, that's just how it kind of happened, you know?
All right. So this is your first rodeo.
Yeah.
So, so let me ask you a question. How do you plan on doing this job?
How?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how I plan on doing it. Honestly, I think everybody's gonna do the job differently.
Okay.
But for me, the importance is it my turn.
Yeah.
I don't want to play. You could go. For me, the importance of the job is really connecting with the constituents. You know what I mean? Connecting with the people, finding out what's on their mind, like what's their biggest issues, like what do they hate or love about the city? Because I could tell you this, like when it's winter time and we're all outside shoveling our snow, everybody's complaining about everything about the city. But they don't complain to the people they should be complaining to.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They complain amongst each other.
Even
Yeah.
at work, same
Yeah.
exactly. Not just the city. Even at work, it's like
Yeah.
at work, it's the same thing. Like, they have a lot of complaints, but the people you should be the manager, or whatever you
That
need
should
to
be
complain
complaining
to,
too.
you're not going to do that.
Right.
But then they're gonna complain to the people who's not gonna be able to do anything
Right.
for you. So it's like, what's the like? What does that-
I'd say this real quick. I know you have something to say real quick, but I think I think the difference might be is that the people in the city that I live in or my neighbors, they legit did not know who
To
go
go
to.
to. Okay, I see.
They didn't know what
So it's a
the
big difference.
resources were.
Yes.
They didn't know who, like, you know what I mean? They would just turn around and blame everything. Oh, the mayor this, the mayor that, the mayor this. Like, blaming everything on, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, so I feel like this is like an opportunity to be the resource,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
For the people around me, like, you know, in the community, like, hey,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Your issue is this. I may not have the answer, but I could tell you could go here and resolve this issue.
You just
Or
guide
you
them
could
to
do
who
that.
they can
Guide
talk
them,
to.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like what I do professionally. That's what
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like I do
Oh, yeah.
professionally. It's like I could guide you. I may not have the answer for you or
But there's
be
a
able
way
to
for you to
fix it.
find
But
out.
there
But
is
here's-
someone who could you could talk
you know
to.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you complaining about this is not doing anything about it. You know what I mean? You saying you hate this, you hate that, or I don't want to do this or do that with the city. It's
Complain
not
to the
doing
right person
anything.
able to
Yeah.
make the
Exactly.
change.
You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
now,
Y'all just not gonna. Give
no,
me
I'm
the
gonna
chance?
cut him off. I'm gonna
Nah,
cut
he
him
got-
off. No, dude, you know how he is. You always have one last question. All you guys are. Well,
All
let
his questions are last
exactly. It's always last
questions.
question.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now, you know me, I'm a big money guy.
Yes.
Do you get paid?
It's a stipend. It's not like you get paid crazy. It's not like if anybody tells you they're running for a city council or something like that for money, it's not the case.
Okay, all right.
You get a stipend. You don't get paid like a salary that you can live off of or something like
Okay,
that. It's,
all
it's
right.
not like that. You
So,
know
all
what I
right,
mean?
I guess I'll reconsider.
Yeah.
I know there's a different type. There's a city council at ward, and there's a city council at large. You
Yes.
become the city
So he's a
council
city at large.
city council at large that
Yes.
represents the whole city.
Correct.
And there's certain thing you have to do. Like I say, I would say that you have to. It's like a law. You have there's certain thing. You make it. You writing a proposal for the legislation for the
could put
city.
legislation in place. Yeah.
Did they give you some counselor, someone to sit with you to work
So,
with?
as a matter of fact, it's crazy, but just yesterday I was actually at a big training in Devon's, Mass, for all the new counselors that just got elected.
Okay.
And then there's also a MMA conference that happens January 19th to the 20th. Actually, January 19th to the 20th, yes. A 2-day conference. And basically, it's how to address these problems, how to deal with them, how to put legislation together. It's just a couple days full of resources. So, again, like I'm new to this, so there is resources, you know what I mean? And for me, like just with anything else, like I guess I could have been scared and not run because I don't know everything, but I feel like I'm more confident because I know there's resources out there and I could do this, you know what I mean, if I have the right attitude behind me to kind of, you know, get the information and do the right thing, basically, you know what I mean? So I'm very confident in that.
That's
The
good.
resources that there are available. So.
Like some people, I could be a Democrat, and I don't want to run as a Democrat.
You could be or you are.
If I don't want to be a Democrat, I don't want to run a Democrat.
So basically, you're asking him which platform?
Yeah,
which
can I
party-
change the platform?
Which party?
If
Which
I
party
want-
will you run?
First of all,
Yeah.
if you were a Democrat and you say, "Oh, I'll change," I don't want to be running as a Democrat.
All right, so I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I am registered as an independent.
I like that. I like that.
I'm registered as an independent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long is the term?
My term is 2 years.
2
It's
years.
a 2-year term.
Okay, so now it looks like you're not a politician, but you're just like just a regular Joe.
Yeah,
that
I feel
decided that.
yes. And I'll give you my motivation behind that. Like,
Okay, that's where I was going.
I would say my wife and I are very invested in the city. We own properties in the city.
Okay.
We have our first child, and he's about like 14 months. So
Okay.
for me, like, I'm already thinking about like when he's in school. Like, my original thought process was I don't want him to be in public school.
Okay.
But I feel like in order to make a wise decision or a decision like that, I think it's fair to kind of understand like what community I'm really in.
Okay. In
So
order
getting involved and really being an asset and kind of being part of the, how can I put this, being
turn.
part of the perspective of the city, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Being part
the
of that.
community
Like,
that's
yeah,
actually
exactly.
running,
Exactly.
running or making decisions.
Right,
Okay.
right. You know what I mean? I
Right.
want to be on the table where the decisions are being made, where the discussions are happening. I feel like that's very important, and just kind of knowing what's going on
Okay.
will actually lead me to a better decision for the future of our kid and even other people with young families like us.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of young families in our community,
All right.
and I feel like a lot of them don't speak up or are not involved, not because they're not smart or they don't want to be. It's just because they don't know what to speak on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not comfortable with the topics. And for me, that's one of the biggest things. I really want to increase civic engagement amongst us young folks, for
Okay.
sure.
That with what you just said, it sounds like that is your main goal.
Yeah.
That sounds like this is your main goal for this term.
Yeah, so first year, I want to do a lot of listening.
Okay.
A lot of listening. And then year 2, or maybe halfway towards year 1, kind of just, getting more involved and basically, being more active within the council. But I really want to take the time and learn the ropes really well. So that way I could dumb down the process to the point where I could break it down for people around me.
Okay.
So it's not so intimidating. Because I feel like when you hear politics, local politics, or anything like
people
that.
don't want to get too much
Yeah,
involved.
people
in
like, I don't know
yeah.
anything about that. I don't care
Oh, yeah,
about
so
that.
they
I
want to
don't
get,
wanna- I don't wanna
yeah.
be part of it.
But really, like local politics, like this directly affects us.
Yeah.
How we live, like the schools
It's
that our
happening
kids
in
go
it's
to.
in your town,
Yeah,
it's
this
in
is
your
in
school
our city,
district.
like, our school
And
district. all
yeah,
that.
it's happening in your town. So
Yeah,
any
you know?
decision you make, yeah.
The other thing, most likely, city councilor, they have a vision and they take off. I'll be running for city councilor. I'll become a city councilor. My next step is to become a mayor. Did you see yourself in that position in the future?
So, I haven't thought about it that far. I would say my next step is to become a good city councilor. A great city councilor, as a matter of fact. That's my next step.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I feel like before I could say I'm going to become a mayor or anything like that, I feel like I need to focus on becoming a great city councilor first.
Okay.
Before I can start thinking about that. I just really want to focus on being really involved in my community, making a small impact there, and then see, what leads from that impact. You know what I mean? Like I said, again, I want to get civic engagement. I want to increase that, help increase that. Even if it's 25 people that I could get involved in just volunteering, or just if they weren't registered to vote and I get them to register to vote, or I get them to show up to meetings, or any type of civic engagement, even if it's 25 people that I do that with within the first year,
That
for
is
me,
something.
that's a win.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that's 25 people that know other people. You know what I mean? That find the
There is a lot of
importance.
people that live in the town that don't register to vote.
Exactly.
So,
You know what I mean? That
Oh,
will
yeah.
understand the importance of let's just get involved locally.
yeah.
Like it's not just about national. You know what I mean?
Yep. Now, I know you kind of push off what he just said. I get you. It sounds like a real politician now because you're like, you notice how he did not answer the question.
Hey.
Wow, he hasn't even been in office, and he's already know the rope. So now, here's my question. So I know you don't have any relative that was in that realm of politics.
Yeah.
What drove you into this? Into this?
I mean, that alone, I feel like, is a driving factor. Just to think about it. I mean, us sitting here, like, think about the Black history in general.
Yeah.
At one point, you weren't allowed to vote.
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's certain things. It's like, if we have opportunities to do these things, like,
Why not
obviously-
take it?
Yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Like, nobody in my family did it. Okay, cool. That doesn't mean I can't do it.
That's right.
That's right.
But maybe I could be the beginning of something like this. You know what I mean? Like, same thing. Like, even professionally, what I'm in
your
professionally, nobody else in my family did that. But it has motivated others.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like this is very important. It's representation. And I feel
Funny
like
how
it's
you say
keys.
funny how you say representation. We don't have a lot of black or brown folks, interested in these type of position, like
Yeah.
local politics.
Yeah.
I mean, you see them in the national realm, but we don't really see them in the local ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I like the fact that you're in a position where, your age as well, you're in a position where you can make space for other people to come in and just say, hey, here you go. So what kind of legacy are you looking to achieve within that position?
Honestly, man, I just want to leave like good energy behind, bro.
Okay.
That's really what it is. Just do the right thing, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just make moves that are gonna yield good, positive, like, factors in the future. You know what I mean? Like, do what's gonna be the best situation for the city and the generation coming up. Like, my legacy needs to be like, good energy, like good vibes, like, you know what I mean?
Because a lot of times you look at the you see kind of like whatever people who are running for office, they make certain decisions and you just sit there and just the decision is kind of like to benefit them, not the community. It's a matter of benefiting them, kind of like their pockets. Even now, like when you look at the politics and stuff like that, it's always like it's all about them, how it benefits them, their family, and whatnot, and stuff like that. So that's the thing. I think the community not afraid to vote and whatnot, but it's like they feel like, well, he's only going to think about himself anyway, so why should I?
So you're saying they're very reluctant.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, people are reluctant to vote.
So reluctant to vote because of, you know what I'm saying? So, like, seeing a black man like you to run for office and things like that, I'm hoping and praying that stigma, because you've seen a lot of stigma where kind of like the black man runs and then there's always something negative behind it. Like Obama ran, they couldn't find anything about. You know what I'm saying? They managed to find exactly. They're trying to find a lot of negative, but they couldn't find anything. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I feel like that's something that comes with it, though.
Yeah,
you know
that's
I mean? I can't be oblivious or ignorant to the fact that not everybody's gonna like me. I mean, that's a fact.
Everything you do, you do good.
Yeah,
someone gonna talk about.
No matter what you do, someone's gonna be.
Not everything's gonna like me, but I feel like that's really why it's important to kind of have like people around you that really understands why you started originally. So that way, when things start going left, they could kind of remind you, like, don't forget.
This is why you started
you know,
doing this to bring you back. Oh yeah, most definitely.
So you have to have those people around you because, bro, I'm excited about this. At the same time, I'm nervous, but I'm also very excited about this. But I know it's not going to be easy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be simple, but I feel like it's necessary.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very necessary.
Okay, my question is, I know
You always have my question, not just a question.
I know you
Always my
running.
question.
When you were running, you have an opponent, someone against you.
Now, you should say, did he have one?
Yeah.
Did you have one?
Okay. So when we first started the race, there was... So first of all, our council is made up of 9. Okay, so there's 6 district councilors and 3 at large.
Yep.
The race started with 4 at large in 6 district. One of the at large dropped.
Okay.
So then it just left the 3 of us at large. So that's how the race ended. So for me, I didn't take the opportunity to be like, okay, hey, I don't need to do anything. I still wanted to connect with people, you know what I mean? Kind of be like, hey, my name is Claudel or whatever. Like, put a name to the face. Put
To
a
the
face.
face.
To
Oh,
that, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I still took the opportunity to do that as well. Because I feel like it's the
It's
biggest part of the
necessary.
job.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, because at the end of the day,
yeah.
I am, as a councilman, like, you are the voice of the people you're representing. You are basically the bridge between government and the people.
community.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if I don't do that, if I don't know what their issues are or how they feel about certain topics, or if I'm not trying to figure out ways to bring certain topics to their knowledge, then I'm not doing my part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I asked that question, because I was going to ask you what was the biggest obstacle during that campaign, how you feel to manage the stress and everything that come to it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, fortunately, I don't think it didn't come with a lot of stress, but I feel like kind of just walking on at this point, it puts me at a different position. I kind of feel like I now have to prove myself, and I kind of like playing that position, the underdog. I like.
Do you think you didn't get that much stress because it's a small town?
No, it's because somebody dropped.
So instead of 4,
And
Instead of 4, they only needed 3, and you guys were the 3.
The 3. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So somebody dropped. So now it's like, all right, cool. Did you go already?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, cool, I got a seat.
Okay.
yeah, but the pressure's still on.
The pressure's still
regardless.
definitely on.
Yeah.
And I knew the pressure was on even before that. Even if I won,
It would
like,
still be
in a competitive race, the pressure would still be on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But now, it's, for me, although I got to see this, to me the pressure's still on.
Okay.
But my focus is just go in and do the job. That's really what it comes down to. And quite frankly, I like playing from a position, the underdog.
So
position,
what would be your advice for someone that's planning in the near future to run for a city councilor?
To just do it.
Like Nike.
Straight up, just do it, bro. What is just do it? Like,
But this is the issue. Let me take it for instance in Waltham. We have Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and it's I barely see people running as an
independent.
in Waltham.
But there's always a chance, though. There's always a first.
So
There's always a first.
honestly, I'm gonna tell you this. I ran as independent, but in Amesbury there is a Democratic group that showed me so much support. Unreal. And I'm sure I could have gotten support from the other end as well. But I got a lot of support from that. I mean, I feel like you just have to be open and honest about where you stand. Like, me being independent doesn't mean I hate your views as a Republican or Democrat. It's just that maybe I could see a little bit from each side. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
how did they have a debate like?
No.
So we had a forum. We
Okay, all
We
right.
did have a forum at the high school where basically did ask us some questions on current topics that are happening and current things.
To see where you stand.
You know what I mean? So that happened. I felt good about it. It was good. Again, I wanted to run like a competitive race. I feel like I like competition, so I would have thrived even more in it. So that's why I said I like to be the underdog.
But do you feel like you had that? You wanted to that because you have let's say you have someone like your kid.
Yeah.
You have a son in the district.
Yeah.
Where you wanted to make the decision to make sure that he's going to be in a better school.
bro.
So you made the
I
decision to
wa-
make sure
yeah.
you set the path.
Oh, bro,
That way, you know what I'm
100%.
saying? So you draw to
100%.
make sure he's getting
Yeah.
the right.
I wanted to
you know
know
what I'm saying?
exactly the direction of the city.
Okay.
And I wanted to help the perspective. I wanted to be part of that perspective.
All right, that's what's
I
up.
wanted to be part of those answers.
So that kinda
those
gave you the drive,
conversations.
yeah.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
all right,
Guys,
all right.
We are coming
That's what's
to
up.
we are coming to an end. But I have to say that Claudel, you realize that you haven't won any game. Just
No, I won
you
one.
did not win any game, bro.
That's
I'm just
cut,
letting you know
cut.
that. Okay, you did not win any game. All right, so guys, make sure you follow this show. Like,
You did no game.
and subscribe.
No game.
Now,
Why are you here?
Guys, one last question. One last question for Claudel, and then we're gonna end with that. So, what word of encouragement would you give young Haitian, one Haitian American that would want to get involved in
politics,
politics
and whatnot.
or public serving role?
Yeah, I would say the biggest advice is literally do not be your own handicap. Don't stop yourself from making that next move because you're worried about what others are going to think. Just do it, really. It's that important. It's local government. It's going to affect you, your family, and everybody around you. I would say just take the step and do it. It's that important.
All right, you heard it. Thank you, guys. This was Domino Effect. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.